Hey, welcome to the Revolutionary Podcast. I'm Karthik.
Hello everyone, I'm Harshit. Welcome to the Revolutionary Podcast.
So in today's podcast, we will be talking about good and evil. We will be talking about why some people are perceived as good and some are perceived as evil because of the things they have done.
Yeah. We'll be discussing human psychology and philosophy, and this would be more kind of psychological talk. So we hope you guys would enjoy this podcast.
So let's begin.
Let's begin.
So when we see in a society, we see some people as good, we see some people as evil. And it's mainly because of the things they have done. Suppose a person who have contributed in the society, his money or wealth, we see him as good. And when it comes to evil, we see someone like, especially in today's world, billionaires or rich people, they are seen as evil. Okay, there are 2 points of this conversation. One is in terms of when we see someone like this, the person who haven't accomplished anything or who have done anything wrong. We see him. Let's take an example. Suppose a student who has failed in his 10th or 12th, and we see that if he is a failure right now, he will always remain a failure. We put him in a block where we make him believe that he is not worthy of anything. That's one scenario. And the other scenario what I'm talking about in the terms of riches, like we see people as evil and we make our own perception that they are evil. Like suppose there are two billionaires, a billionaire who is giving employment and a billionaire who is giving employment, but he isn't seen as that because he's not doing physically any wealth distribution, and a person who is doing a lot of charities, we start comparing them. Why do we have to compare them? Why can't we just see them in their own respective way?
Yeah. See, there are two perspectives of seeing anyone as good or a bad person. Okay, the first one is like judging the people. Okay, like what does most of the people in the society do? Like they judge a person by his looks, by his behavior, and by his overall how his behavior is as a human being. Okay, so we judge him as a good or a bad. Okay, the second one is how you think you are in reality. Okay, like like if you are doing some wrong, okay, or you are thinking like that it's not something which is what you're doing in society. Okay, then you yourself know that this is a wrong thing, and you yourself know that I am a bad person for this regards. Okay, but if you are doing some good works, then maybe society is saying you that you are a bad person. Okay, like you are a billionaire, you are and you are putting your wealth to some charity or wherever you are putting, but people still say that you are a wrong guy or you're not a good person. Okay, but if you yourself believe in yourself, like yeah, I am capable of doing this and I am doing everything what I'm doing for good reason.
Yeah.
Okay, then it doesn't matter whatever people are saying you.
It's important that we don't change our beliefs because of the people what they are saying about us. Because suppose we see many people, they develop so many insecurities about them because someone else said, like suppose if we talk about our generation, in our age, suppose in a classmate a classmate said something wrong about us, he insulted us in between, we get a lot of insecurities about it.
Yeah.
And we start seeing ourselves the way they are seeing ourselves. And the thing is this, when we do that, we are actually not putting we are putting other people on pedestal. We are putting other people's views about ourselves on a pedestal rather than putting our. But the thing is this, it doesn't even matter what they think about us.
Yeah.
If you see, right now also, like suppose you and me are sitting over here, it doesn't matter what you are thinking about me, because at the end of the day, I know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't matter what I'm thinking about you.
Yeah. See, a person has to just believe in himself or herself. Okay, it doesn't matter like what people are saying about you, what society is saying about you. Okay, you don't like see if we are giving importance to their talks or whatever the society is telling us to do or whatever they are making perceptions about us, if we are giving them more importance than our own perception or rather than our own thoughts, okay, then we are living life according to them, not according to how we want to live our life. Okay, and that is something known as you are restricted to do certain work. Okay, and if you are doing work out of that certain boundary, then you are called as a bad person or you are called as a wrong guy.
Like you're kind of breaking the rules.
Yeah, I'm not saying like break the rules or do something wrong, but what I'm trying to say, like just have faith in yourself and do right work. If you are like if your inner self is saying no, this work is wrong, then you don't have to go in that to work. Okay.
A quote of Steve Jobs came in my mind. He said that everyone sees you as crazy until you do that thing, and then everyone start calling you genius for doing that. Suppose Kanye West, or in today's world, Kanye West or even Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, the ideas they had, the imaginations they had, when they used to talk about it, that I will do this, I will do that, everyone started seeing them as crazy person, like he is stupid for even thinking about that. But the moment they started turning those things into reality and we started seeing them, seeing those things, we started believing in themselves,
Yeah.
in those people also. The thing is here is that we don't have enough examples.
Yeah.
If you see, we don't have examples of, okay, this can also be done. And until someone comes from any society, any community, and he starts questioning those things, and he start working on those things to make them reality. Suppose you come here and you start just questioning things, people will not listen you that much. But after questioning those things, you start turning them into reality.
Yeah.
Then people start seeing you. Like in America, like black people, when they start questioning that black people why they can't succeed and all this, no one listened them
Yeah.
at that level. But when people like Muhammad Ali, people like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, they started succeeding, then people believed, okay, this can be done.
The thing is, you have to take out the solution of the question. Okay, like putting up the question is very easy. Okay, you can put up the questions. It's like very easy. Okay, you can put up the question to anyone. But if you are taking like you are putting up the question and as well you know the answers to that. Okay, like or the solution to that question in the real world. Okay, like you're putting the question into someone like this is wrong or this thing is wrong here, and you know the solution like this can be done right in this way. Okay. Then that has something importance. Okay, but if you are only questioning anyone or just questioning anyone without any reason, then that's wrong. That thing
That's
is wrong.
yes. And until you don't actually show some results or any kind of success, people don't believe in you.
Yeah.
They won't believe in your words. They will first believe in your actions and then those things. Okay, let's take this conversation to another direction of like good and evil. We were saying, suppose when we see people like when we see, as I told in terms of the student time, why do we always, whenever a person fails in his life, why do we always have to put him over there? Why don't we support him and say that you can do much better? Like this thing actually in long term it destroys any society, because the mindset which young generation will be building, it will be affecting in the future, because the younger generation will be taking that mindset from the their childhood or any teenage, and then they will be giving that same mentality to their future generations also.
See, everyone is born in the same way. Okay, like
Yeah.
we had conversation earlier. Like everyone is born in the same way. Okay, even a child born in the house of king is born in the same way like a child born in the house of middleman or peasants or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
they are born in the same way. It's not like the child born in the house of king is born with clothes or whatever. Okay, everyone is born in the same way. It's like how they are being brought up. Okay, like how they are being brought up and what surroundings they are living. That's the most important thing. Like the how that child will grow up as an individual and what would be his thought process and what would he be capable of thinking. Okay, like he would be thinking wrong things or he would be thinking good things, and that is only what will make difference, and that is only he will pass to his future generation. Okay, like this is good or this is wrong. Okay, I think these are the main factors, like surrounding and how he is brought up by his parents or his teachers or school or whatever thing. Like
If you see in any society or any community or even any country, when a criminal does anything wrong, we always start protesting, and that we should do, like wrong things are happening, we should stand against it and all this. But I think as an individual we should also ask ourselves this question. This is a very hard question to ask, or as a community, that person who whatever crime he or she did, they were from this society only, they were born here only, they were brought up here only, and they were not from any other planet or any other country. They were brought up between us only. So if we can ask that question to us, we can also prevent future things which will happen wrong. When we see any criminal who does any crime, if you see he was born as a normal person only, like you, like me, or the people who are watching. So what was those factors, as you talked about, like environment, family members,
like
or
most of the time I'm saying this, like 90% of the time.
Yeah. And there comes a certain point when a person becomes self-conscious that he have to make his own choices, and those wrong choices also lead there. But at the end of the core point, when that person was a child in his childhood, those things affect the choices he will be making at the age of 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying this that he can't change those choices, because if you see people like Mike Tyson, or if you study about great people who came from such environment of criminal history, they changed their things, but they got some mentor, some guru, any coach, any external person.
Yeah. See, the thing is like if you are like we say, people get self-conscious or get matured enough to know the difference between what is right and what is wrong at the age of 15, 16 or around that, when they come through the teenage life. Okay, but the thing is like what things they have taken in their mind from the childhood. Okay, like that thing lead absolutely, like what core mentality they have from their childhood, and what kind of like thought process is like going on their head and whatever thing that says. Okay, even if like we see the example of Mike Tyson, like who have come from a like this
Criminal
society and all. But still, he get mentor and he somehow balanced himself, and today the world knows him. But still, see, it's not like majority of the time this happens. It's only
it happens with exceptional people, fewer people only.
Mm-hmm. But the things remain the same. Like what surroundings you were mainly into, and like what thought process you are into. That thing.
But if you see, many people don't have the options to choose their surroundings. If
no one has option to choose their surroundings.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we are not born with our choice.
Yes. So I think at that point it only comes to our own hands that how
how we are tackling the situation.
Yes, it comes on our own responsibility only.
Yeah. But see, the thing remains the same. Like you are 15, 16 or 17, 18, and you are like conscious enough to know the difference between or you can distinguish between the right and the wrong thing, but still like your core mentality is same as everyone in your surrounding, then there are very minute chances that you would change. Okay,
no, I think
I'm not saying that there are zero chances.
Suppose you lived in a town for 10 years, that whole environment of that town, it got into your mindset. But after that you live for 7 to 8 years in another place, and that is a good place, then those memories will kind of suppress all the old memories, and it will also suppress the old mindset.
Yeah, that thing is completely different. Like see, for like one thing is like you are born in the society and you are living there for 15, 16 years and then moving to a different town. Okay. And one more and the other factor is like you are 20, 25 and you are moving to a certain town where the surrounding not so good. Okay, and like you are mature enough, like if you are from your childhood you were into a good surrounding, okay, then you can distinguish between the bad and the good terms. Okay, but if you are born in such surroundings like where there is not such good people around you and all those things, then after 15 or 20 years when you would move to a new town, then there are very minute or very little chances that you would vanish those whatever thought process you are going in your head and all this thing.
I think yes, this one perspective we talk like of environment. I think there's another perspective to this of an individual's own thinking, his own ambitions. Because if you read many people's successful story that they were living in that environment and they succeeded from there only. They didn't move anywhere out.
Yeah.
It happens because you decide that I will think right thoughts. I will if I don't get any good people, I will live alone.
Yeah.
But I will kind of repeat those right things in my mind.
At the last, it's about individual to individual. Like, how does you think about it? Okay, like if you have some big ambitions in your life, like you are dreaming big about yourself, and you want to see yourself in definitely in a good position after 10 to 15 years, then you would work hard for it definitely, and you would think of going out of the surrounding. Okay, because
many people's motivation. This is what many people's motivation is.
Yeah,
that they want to get out of the environment.
And you see, that's the real struggle. Like you have seen many struggle stories also. Like many of us have also heard about that. They were from a very middle class or very poor family, and the surroundings were not so good, but they still do wonders in their life. Okay, it's not like that they also remain the part of that society only. It's not like that. They do.
It comes from here, I think so.
Yeah,
it comes from
it's
the
definitely
mindset.
about the mindset, like how mindset and how you're training.
Yeah, and in today's world, we got internet, we got smartphone. We can listen to good people.
Yeah,
we can just the things we watch, listen, read. It changes our mindset completely.
Yeah, definitely.
So yes, we started from good and evil.
Yeah.
So this we talked about our own individuality. Now the last thing, why do we always have to judge everyone? If you see judging is not wrong. Suppose you are my friend and I am meeting you for first time. Right now you are not my friend. I am meeting you first time. I will obviously judge you like this person should be in my life or not. Yes, but when we judge, we should also understand that we are just seeing that person from this perspective. I don't know anything about him, his childhood. I don't know what's going in his house with his parents and anything.
See, it's said like most of the time, like first impression is the last impression. Okay, but like you can't just determine or understand the complete nature of a person by his first impression.
Yes.
Like you can't see. Okay, like if you are getting WhatsApp message by some person, okay, or to be your friend in the future, okay, like you cannot judge him like he's communicating in such a way that he would be such a guy or he would be such a girl, like all this thing. Okay, these things I don't think like this thing matters a lot. What I'm trying to say is like your first impression is not always does not matter much.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to spend time with an individual to understand them.
You cannot judge a person by his it's always said like you can judge a book by its cover and all those things. You can just get a glimpse of them. Okay, like you cannot understand the complete story behind the book by just knowing the cover. Okay, you have to read it thoroughly. Okay, you can just get a glimpse of it.
Yes.
Okay, but not the whole knowledge about that thing.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm
So from this other thing comes that when we are judging, keeping those judgments in our mind is we should not even do that.
We are human beings. We are human beings. Then
but the thing is that when we start talking about that individual without knowing his or her conditions, and we start talking ill about them between our friend group and all that is stupidity.
Yeah,
that is a complete dumb thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
We should never even talk ill about it. If your life is going good, if in your life you are doing good thing, you will never talk ill about anyone.
And you don't have the time to talk ill about.
Don't even have the time. A person who is doing more than you, he will never talk about you.
So like the topic we were discussing was like what discriminate between good and bad, and like we have talked about surrounding, we have talked about individuality, and we have talked about like judging the people. Yeah. So
and giving our own viewpoints on everything. We should give our own viewpoints, but we should also see the other perspective of anything, any matter. But even in the country, any social issue, we should first see the other perspective. If we are seeing one news, we should see 10 different articles about it.
It's like we have talked in the earlier podcast also, like everything has different perspective. Okay, we cannot judge entire thing by knowing only one perspective of that thing. Okay, like we have to keep our mind open from everywhere.
So from this, I have one question for the people who are watching and also for ourselves. That after this conversation, that should we define an individual as good or evil? And especially after just meeting them for first time or just seeing any news about them for even consecutive time. Or should we judge, like suppose if I'm living for someone with 20 years, now I can tell what that person is. But the possibility is that after 20 years also he will change. If he's bad, he can become good, or even if he's good, he can become bad. Anything can happen. So we should ask ourselves this question, that we should we judge or not that person? And last thing, Sadhguru said this, which came into my mind. When we see other person's one mistake, we say him wrong, and when we make thousands of our own mistakes, we accept our own self.
That's very important to accept others also.
Yes.
It's not like you're just giving your viewpoints about something. It's the other person viewpoints and other person also matters.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Everyone makes
we should understand this,
and we should learn to accept others also.
Yes. So we hope you liked this podcast and you took some value from it. And if you like this podcast, give it a like and subscribe to the channel and share it with your like-minded friends.
And comment down which part is the best, like you throughout this podcast, which part you like the most.
Comment your own views also on this, the things we talked about.
And also the link of our Instagram account is given in the description box. You can get in touch with us over there also. And we would be like very happy if you would like get in touch over.
We can have good conversation over there also.
So with this, let's end this particular podcast. So thanks for watching everyone.